What were you doing in the year 2008? Maybe you were playing Bop It with your pals between rounds of COD, past the Dr. Pepper Jeremy, or maybe you were scrolling LimeWire for a download of Stronger by Kanye West, or maybe you were picking your nose and crawling around in a diaper like the weak, pathetic life form you were, you frickin' baby. Meanwhile, the rest of us enlightened ones were creating the next apex species, becoming spice barons, conquering the galaxy, and being literal gods of creation among you. We were playing one of the greatest games to ever exist, Spore. Put simply, Spore is a game where you start as a cell, become an animal that you can evolve, and then become a tribe, then a civilization, and then space explorers. And you guide every decision every step of the way. Do you want to be a brutal carnivore devouring everything in your path? Or do you want to be vegan, non-GMO, and gluten-free? Do you want to take over other tribes through violence and war, or do you want to play on your flute? Do you want to move planet to planet, extinguishing all traces of life, or do you want to grow trees? You can kinda do whatever you want in Spore. My first time hearing about Spore, I was in a school bus on my way to summer camp, and one of my friends turned over to me from the seat ahead and was like,
"Have you heard about Spore?"
And I was like as in the fungus? And he was like,
"No, the game."
And I was like, okay, you go on and tell me about that. And then he opened his mouth and it was like he was speaking another language, blowing my mind with concepts like evolution, spice trading, space conquest. Now me, being a bit of a freak at this time, this Spore piqued my interest. So when I got home, I booted up the old Windows Vista and I took a visit to the Spore website, and I was kind of amazed. Now, by the way, this website is still up, and let me tell you, it is truly a blast from the past. You can still even download the Creature Creator, which we'll get into later, but seeing all of those cool creatures on there and seeing everyone else's creations, I was like, damn. So boom, I got Spore, and so began my next childhood obsession. I did all of the research, I read the instruction manual over and over again, preparing myself for creating the finest civilization to roam among the stars. I was ready. Oh God, was I ready. And when I loaded into the game for the first time and started the cell stage, I forgot everything and just kind of winged it. Spore is probably one of my all-time favorite games, and sometime recently I stumbled on it again. You ever run into one of your old friends but it's not awkward and you're not trying to get out of it like, oh yeah, we should hang out sometime. It's just a genuinely nice experience, and I don't know about you, but playing it again, I truly still believe it is a perfect game. So what made Spore so great? Well, one of the huge draws was the creativity. The Creature Creator in Spore is just, it's no joke, and it's honestly half the pull of the game, I'm not gonna lie. You could lose yourself in here just spending hours making whatever you want. The Creature Creator was exactly what any kid would want. The flexibility and freedom to make a complete abomination and then set it loose into the world. Like, look at these things. No other game gave you the same kind of tools and freedoms. You want to start off as a mindless and savage meat eater tearing through being after being, but then wake up the next day in the tribal stage and say, nah, TikTok dance challenges to make peace with Earth. Go ahead. And then on top of all that, if you connected to the internet, you could see other people's creatures roaming around wreaking havoc on the planet. And it made everything feel so big and grand and like a real living ecosystem. I think something about seeing your creature evolve over time, knowing where they started and seeing how far they came made it really easy to get attached to them. When I played through my first game of Spore, I was extremely attached to my creature, and I wanted my species to thrive. On top of all of that, and no other game doing quite what Spore did, no other game was as funny doing it. So this is my creature, Doinkus, and it's based on being a bit of a doinkus. Not only are the creatures you can make just hilarious, and not only are some of the other monstrosities lurking around hilarious too, but the way Spore boils down society into a nutshell and packages it in a way that's basically a caricature of our own civilization is hilarious too. Everything from the dialogue options to the way creatures interact with each other to the way civilizations interact with each other is just so over the top and nutty. The fact that there were international relations was just hilarious, and I remember when I used to play, I would intentionally just tank my relations with everyone because I just thought it was so hilarious seeing the other civilizations get mad and just start speaking gibberish. Was Spore mechanically perfect? No. But was Spore perfect from a game design perspective? Also no. But did Spore excel in all the genres it blended together? No. But is Spore still a perfect game to me? Yes. I mean, let's get one thing straight, this game is a little jank. Well done, my tribesmen. It has bugs and it has some pretty weird moments. The gameplay mechanics are a bit lacking in some areas. Like, look, it has its own problems, but in my opinion, that's part of its charm. Because at the end of the day, Spore is just fun. Like, in what other game could you literally be an apple waging a gruesome militaristic war on another group of apples just trying to make it big in the stock market? When Spore came out, it wasn't too well received by people, and they mostly pointed out the fairly shallow gameplay as the reason they didn't like it. But as time goes on, I think Spore has definitely amassed a cult following, and I think that's because of just how fun it is and how funny it is, and I think it has a lot of replay value. And behind all of its comedy, behind the hours of laughs and fun, Spore taught us about the consequences of our decisions and the meaning of life and the fragility of it all, and how much work it takes for life to flourish, how to have positive international relations leading to successful trade in a working and coherent global economy, but also how to be a worm. The concept of perfect is a tricky one. Things are always going to have flaws, and nothing on this earth is perfect. But if the goal of a game is to get me to laugh, to get me invested, and to get me to, most of all, just have fun, then Spore did just that. So, thank you, Spore. Thank you for being a perfect game to me. Hi everyone. If my voice sounds really gravelly right now, that's because it is. There's so many talented Spore creature creators out there, and I was really curious what kinds of nutty creatures you guys were making in Spore. So I asked on Twitter for you to show me some of your funniest or just flat out weirdest creations, and here they are. Right out of the gates, we have multiple people sending in Amogus. Thank you guys. Very cool. @Suled sends in this minion that I can only describe as Wednesday morning methamphetamine. @Donkey Konga Fort sent in Spore monstrosities straight out of Dark Souls, and I have to say, this is really impressive. I love the amount of detail on these guys, like, this is just hands down cool. Great job. Same with what was sent in by Amperscore0. These are really creative creatures you got. I really love the Yowie hands on male seahorse, and I'm definitely going to be running from that one in my dreams. Yerbemate sends in this absolutely adorable kitty that I will be naming Porter. Very cute. And lastly, Average Pixel sent in a Spore gun. That's it. Just someone made a gun in Spore. Amazing. I looked over everything everyone sent in and I had a great laugh and it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for sending in your Spore creations. And if you want to send your Spore creations my way, definitely don't be shy. Before I go, I just want to say I'm dropping a new song on May 21st. That's right, Alex Unknown is back, and if you want to pre-save the song, the link is in the description. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.